Welcome back to Brown Girl Blue. My name is Tabitha, and on this channel, I talk about my childhood Jehovah's Witness memories. And today, I want to talk about being overwhelmed. I remember growing up in that culture, the expectations were just extremely high to be perfect, and to be perfect in thought and in deed. Pretty much to be perfect in everything. How you talked, how you held yourself in public perspective, how you presented yourself when you went to the Kingdom Hall, which is the meeting place for Jehovah's Witnesses. For those of you who are not Jehovah's Witnesses, be perfect in your speech. Be perfect in when you're giving answers to the Watchtower Bible Study, which is a service that is done after the main service in a Jehovah's Witness place of meeting. To be perfect when you're in the field ministry, which is like missionary work that's done in your local neighborhoods. You can also do it globally, depending on your commitment to the work. But and also, I remember having to be perfect in school. Having to be the perfect witness, which means watching everything that you do, even was outside of your normal personality. Just always having this really high expectation that you were expected to reach. And it's really unsustainable, and it caused a lot of stress of never getting to know yourself and never just really accepting yourself for who you naturally are, but trying to model and be someone that you're not. And for years, I never knew my true self, really never understanding my own personality or really appreciating my own natural talents that I have as being Tabitha. So growing up like that, it's really does disconnect yourself from yourself, and you're constantly trying to measure up to someone else's measure that they have established for you. So as a young adult, definitely had a really difficult time understanding who I was. That played into not having enough boundaries, or just no boundaries, for people to invade my private space and my time. I had the same thing with my family of just very difficulty in saying no, and also just learning to appreciate what I bring to the table and appreciate me just being me. So yeah, just that feeling of not being good enough and always having to measure up, and you never ever catch up, ever. There's always some other thing that you have to either worry about or be prepared for. So just having that sense of just can never just being just not having enough time to get things done, and it's even deeper than that. It's just about not given the time to develop at your pace, but you're on someone else's timeline, and everything is urgent. Everything is urgent, where you're worried about the world ending, or you're worried about, is someone going to see me make a mistake and report it back to the elders at the Kingdom Hall? If I'm, during my teenage years or adolescent years, if I was going through, the natural teenage hormones, or just a natural teenage development, if I had someone that I liked in school, or, just wanted to have friendships, being concerned about, if someone see me talk to a boy that's not a Jehovah's Witness, would I get reported back to the congregation, and would I get in trouble with the elders? Getting in trouble with my parents. I remember one time I had, it was during Valentine's Day at high school, and this boy back in school, you used to be able to send flowers to people that you liked, and the school had like a fundraiser, and so you could order, like a single rose, you could do like some pink carnations or something like that. And this boy, I think it was freshman or sophomore year, and he had bought me a rose, and he sent it to my class. And as a teenager, you feel so special because, oh, I got a rose, and I took it home because I was so happy that I got a flower. And my mom, no, no, actually, it was my dad. It was my dad. He took the flower and he completely destroyed it and threw it away. And I just feel like that probably could have been handled a lot better, especially as a young girl, and she's kind of coming into her emotions, and she's learning to be is learning to be a young person, a young adult, or getting ready for young adulthood, and everything was so just very down the line. That there was no room for error. There was no room for error, and part of developing is trial and error, learning from your mistakes, doing things a bit better, and you have to learn those lessons as you go through life, and just not being allowed to just develop and just be me, but always having to live up to someone else's version of you was the overwhelming part, and that stuck with me for many years. Just feeling that someone else was in control of my life. And I understand that when you're a child, you have adults in your life who are leading you a certain way so you don't get hurt, or to keep you alive, or to make sure that your physical well-being is looked after, as well as your mental well-being. Emotional well-being is important too. But it wasn't that. It was the part of you being you is not good enough. This is the model that you should follow according to what we think about you. And if you don't follow these rules, then one, you're going to get in big trouble. Like if you're baptized, you get put out, or you get counseled, or some other disciplinary action. And if you're not, then we're going to look at you as if you did some really horrible thing, even though it's not horrible at all. So just being under that kind of system of being constantly judged, and to always feel that you, even at your best, is never going to be good enough to meet whatever this never reaching expectations are for you. And if you do make a mistake, or if you go through life and you make different choices, if you don't make the right choice according to someone else's rules, then you're not a good person, and you're just not someone that is going to be looked well upon. So that's what I experienced in my childhood in the Jehovah's Witness culture, of just feeling that I could never measure up. I could never be good enough. And that is a lot of pressure. That's extreme amount of pressure to where you have these goals that someone else is setting on your behalf, and you're trying to reach them, even in a competitive nature where you're trying to be better than the other person. I'm trying to be gooder. That's not even a word, but you're trying to be your best. You're trying to be the best, not just your best, but being the best, and reaching for these goals that other people have set. These other, goals of how you should behave, and all under the fear, if you don't, then you're going to be judged and you're going to die, because God doesn't like you anymore because you didn't follow all of his rules. So yes, that was very overwhelming for me as a young person. Definitely impacted my evolving young adulthood. And as I said before, this has been a long journey for me to get back to first knowing myself, knowing who I am, looking at my value, looking at my talents, look at what I can contribute to the world, to my community, learning to love me for me, and knowing that I am loved, and feeling that, and allowing myself to receive the love for myself and from others, and also with my own belief in God, and knowing that God is love and that he loves me. He loves me. And just to feel that, and to allow myself just to feel God's love, has been something that I knew was always there, but was taught to believe that to get God's love, it was something that was conditional. And so I've come a long way. from that way of thinking, but definitely as remembering my experience growing up, that definitely impacts you when you feel that you're always under judgment, and it's very overwhelming. It's a lot of pressure to try and measure up to that type of expectation that's set by someone else. So yeah. So share with me. You have any comments about your experiences of having feelings of being overwhelmed, and if and I still get that from time to time, not as often as I did, but I know where it's from now, and I can identify it, and I just give myself some positive self talk, meditation, rely on my faith, and to know that God does love me, and His love is unconditional, and allow myself to receive that love from Him. And also, again, remembering who I am, remembering my strengths, looking at my value, my talent, and understanding that I have value and I have something to offer to this world. Well, that's another unlocked memory from my childhood growing up as a Jehovah's Witness. If you have any comments to share, please share those comments down below. I really enjoy reading your comments. That is it for Brown Girl Blue today. Thank you for watching. If you find this information meaningful, please like and subscribe, and also share this video content as well. Well, until next time, I will see you all later. Bye.